We good?
Good.
All right. It's Thursday night. It's probably a little after 7 by now.
Mm-hmm.
7:06. So that makes time for Thursday Night Live at the Gun Shop. And we've got a lot to talk about this week. Got some cool guns to show off. Got a fair bit of maybe good news, maybe some not so good news, but a little better balance than we had last week. Um,
Hey,
so,
John.
hey, John, kind of piddle around here and give folks a minute to. Today's the 13th, ain't it?
Yes.
Piddle around here a minute and give folks a chance to get logged in and logged on. And we'll be off to the races. I hope everybody's had a good week.
Kenny Harbaugh says hi from Maryland.
Hey, Kenny, good to have you. Appreciate you being here. Um, Gosh, we got a lot to talk about tonight.
Hi, Tim Easton.
Tim, we're starting to get some folks in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, guys. Um, let's just um, let's just kind of dive right in and talk about the one big beautiful lawsuit from GOA.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, like most everybody knows what it's about now, but we'll recap it right quick to simplify it. They're suing the Department of Justice and ATF over the NFA, National Firearms Act of 1934.
Louis Uberti it says, saludos from Paraguay.
Paraguay. Well, welcome, welcome. I'm sorry I don't know the language, but hopefully welcome comes through in all languages. We're glad to have you. Um, so, when the one big beautiful bill passed, and as of January 1st, 2026, eliminates the $200 tax on suppressors, short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, and AOWs. According to the NFA itself, and according to court rulings, according to everything through history, the only reason for the registration was to track who's paid their tax and who hasn't.
Derek Whitson said here for all the factual info.
A little bit unbridled sometimes, huh? So, with that being the case, GOA launched a lawsuit before the ink was even dry on one big beautiful bill, calling for an end to the registry. To take these things completely out of the NFA, close out that part of the NFA, and actually destroy the registry on those items. So the lawsuit was brought. The DOJ had until today to answer the lawsuit. Well, late yesterday, into the evening hours, they found a judge that granted them an extension for 7 days.
David Eno says hello.
Hi, Dave. So now we're looking at, according to the judge's ruling, which I didn't get to print, I did get to read it. DOJ has until 11/20, or a week from today, to answer the lawsuit. Once they answer on 11/20, we have, or our side has until December 15th to answer what they said. So that's where that's tracking right now, okay? Now, November, I've got a letter laying here beside me that was sent from the Congress of the United States to the Honorable Pamela Bondi, United States Attorney General, U.S. Department of Justice. And this letter, again, was dated November 10th of this year. And I'm just going to actually read you the letter. So I'm going to ask you to bear with me. It looks longer than it actually is, okay? It's
2 pages. Most of it's signatures.
yeah. So
I
it's
think
not
it's 3 pages of signatures.
not really that long, but I'm gonna read you what the Congress sent to the DOJ. The letter was initially written by Andrew Clyde.
And if they want to read along, they can find it on his X profile.
So the letter reads as follows. Excuse me just a second. I called myself cleaning my glasses off before we started, but
Hey, there you go. It's a little better.
okay. Dear Attorney General Bondi, we write to inform the Department of Justice of Congress's position and intent regarding ongoing litigation challenging the National Firearms Act, referred to as the NFA from here on, registration and transfer requirements for non-taxed NFA firearms. Following the enactment of President Trump's landmark Second Amendment victory in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, in enacting this bill into law, Congress affirmed its position that the taxation and registration provisions of the National Firearms Act are inseparably linked. And it expressed its intent to repeal the NFA registration and transfer requirements by eliminating the associated taxes on certain firearms and silencers. Therefore, we urge the Department of Justice to adopt in advance Congress's stated position in all litigation concerning these provisions to ensure that the congressional intent is accurately represented and upheld before the courts. As you are well aware, Congress enacted the National Firearms Act in 1934, imposing an excise tax of $200, equivalent to nearly $5,000 today, on the manufacture and transfer of certain firearms. The NFA also established burdensome regulation requirements for gun owners seeking to transfer NFA-related firearms, including the submission to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives of personal identifying information such as name, date of birth, demographic details, fingerprints, home address, the physical location of the firearms. Congress enacted the NFA pursuant to its taxing power under Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. The Supreme Court in Selinsky versus the United States, 1937, held that the NFA's registration provisions were supportable as in aid of Congress's proper exercise of taxing power. The registration requirements under the NFA are in fact inseparably linked to its taxation provisions. Registration serves as the mechanism by which ATF accounts for the tax paid on each firearm, identified by its serial number. The tax stamp affixed by the NFA or by the ATF to an NFA transfer and registration application reflects both the firearm serial number and the amount of the tax paid for the transfer. Moreover, the NFA's criminal provisions pertain exclusively to the failure to pay or register the payment of this tax with the ATF. On July 4th, 2025, President Donald J. Trump signed into law the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which eliminated the transfer and making taxes for certain classes of firearms regulated under the NFA. Specifically, Section 70436 of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act sets the NFA excise tax at $0 for short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, firearms classified under the NFA's any other weapons category, and silencers. This landmark legislation represents the most significant advancement for the Second Amendment freedoms in many decades. Following the One Big Beautiful Bill Act's elimination of the tax on a broad class of firearms regulated under the NFA, the constitutional foundation for applying the NFA's transfer and registration requirements to those zero tax firearms no longer exists. These requirements now operate without any corresponding exercise of Congress's taxing power, as the Supreme Court upheld the NFA's provision only as in aid of that power, and since the relevant excise taxes have been repealed, the transfer and registration requirements should likewise be understood as repealed with respect to the firearms now subject to a $0 tax. As members of Congress who supported the One Big Beautiful Bill Act and participated in the legislative process surrounding Section 70436 of that Act, we wish to reaffirm that it was our intent in enacting Section 70436 to repeal the transfer and registration requirements under the National Firearms Act by eliminating the associated taxes for certain firearms. It remains our clear intent that these transfer and registration requirements shall no longer apply to firearms now subject to a $0 tax for the reasons outlined above. Accordingly, we urge the Department of Justice to adopt the position of the drafters of this provision that the transfer and registration requirements cannot stand without the corresponding excise tax. We further urge the Department to assert this position in all litigation concerning this specific section of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. President Trump has been the most pro-Second Amendment president in our nation's history, and the Department of Justice has an opportunity to uphold his strong record of protecting gun owners from burdensome regulations. Thank you for your attention to this important matter. We look forward to working with the Department of Justice to advance additional pro-Second Amendment policies. And it is signed, sincerely, Andrew S. Clyde, Scott Perry, Ralph Norman, Guy Richenthaler, Mary E. Miller, Eric Burleson, Tennessee boy Andy Ogles, Clay Higgins, Richard Hudson, Chip Roy, Russ Foucher, Byron Daniels, Diana Hirschberger, Barger. Barry Moore. No Tennessee boy happens to be running for governor of Tennessee, John Rose. Wesley P. Hunt, Ben Klein. There's a cool guy. Mark Harris, Josh Beechin, Michael Cloud, Eric L. Buddy Carter, Paul A. Gosier, DDS, Andy Harris, MD, Keith Self, Rich McCormick, MD, MBA, Barry Loudermilk, Adrian Smith, Austin Scott, Nicholas J. Begich III, Lauren Bobert, and Rick W. Allen. Anybody notice a signature that's not on here? Every time he talks to us, he tells us how pro-gun he is and how great he is and how we should all be just supporting him and just groveling for him. Yeah, a guy named David Kushtoff. The one who screwed a lot of this up in the beginning. Oh, I will help. I will do anything I can to get this repealed. It's my goal to get this repealed. Where's your signature? I'm just asking questions. Where's your signature? I want you to understand. John Rose's signature's on there. Andy Ogles is on there.
Yep.
Huh. Anyway, guys, why is this letter important? One, it tells Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice exactly what the intent was. Because when this left the House, when the One Big Beautiful Bill Act left the House of Representatives, it had the provisions of doing away with the registration. It wasn't until a non-elected liberal Democrat that should never be in that position, called the Senate parliamentarian, stripped it. But anyhow, the House voted, and when they voted it out of the House, the Senate to the Senate, it had all these provisions in it.
It did.
So he says, well, this is what we meant. This is exactly what we meant. And many times when something goes to court, when there's an argument, the judges refer back to, they try to figure out what was Congress's intent.
Well, they're telling them
What
their
was
intent.
the intent of Congress? Okay.
That's their
That's the
intent.
reason we have this thing called the Federalist Papers from our founders. And that's one of the key reasons for this letter. If you notice, multiple times in this letter, he uses the frame, it is the intent. It is the intent. It is the intent.
Yes.
So that could be a very, very important piece coming up for us, okay? Can you guys imagine if we could get rid of the registry? Walk in, buy a silencer, you know?
Just like you buy a gun.
Walk in, get your SBR. Can you imagine the cool things we could build? It's like SBS
That'd be cool.
or AOW. It'd be wonderful. So anyway, this letter has been sent and received by Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice. Yesterday, late in the day, the judge granted a 1-week extension for the Department of Justice to answer GOA's One Big Beautiful lawsuit. This letter tells DOJ exactly how Congress wants it answered. Going to be interesting to see what happens. Very interesting. And by the way, when Gustav's running around here, begging everybody to vote for him, ask him where his signature was.
I know you will.
Oh, I will.
I know.
They make sure I don't get close to him. Now let's talk a little bit about something we were talking about last week, or what I call the Glock effect. Okay. We know Glock sold out to the liberals to bring out this V series. We know that the United States is the only place it's being brought out, and it's going to protect all of us from the evil switches and make the liberals happy. Well, the liberals still ain't happy. They're still bitching and complaining. They're never going to be happy. All they did is bow the knee. They were getting sued before. They're still getting sued. But that, like we talked about, it empowered the left.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like it's got them on crack, crank, coke, meth. You know, they're taking it all. They are fired up. You know, they're worse than a hound dog when he smells a bitch in heat. So they decide to go after Ruger. Everytown for Gun Safety sends a letter to Ruger demanding, demand letter like there's some kind of governing body that has the power to command people to do things. Commanding Ruger to stop production of the pistol that the Ruger Magpul RMX.
RXM.
Yeah, RXM. Ruger by Magpul.
Yes.
Pistol.
John's got a question here. He said, so if they redesign the Switch, will Glock come out with another series?
Hell, who knows? But one of the things they changed is the trigger bar. And that's one of the big problems that they have is guns with the cruciform style trigger bar. Stupid. But anyway, so they got really fired up. Everytown for Gun Safety's come in, they're demanding that Ruger cease production of this gun and capitulate to them. And now the Attorney General of Connecticut, which is where Ruger is, has jumped in. He's going to file a lawsuit against them.
Against Ruger?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
And he even references the demand letter from Everytown for Gun Safety, how they've ignored or something. It's ludicrous, but it goes back to when Glock caved in. What did it do? It just fired the left up, and it opened the money coffers. And the money's just poured in. Okay? We broke the biggest company out there. We broke the company that can never be broke. And now they're just, they're so fired up, and their base is fired up, and their money people are fired up. So far, let's say this, everybody needs to be calling and supporting Ruger, because so far they have told them up yours.
John said, give them an inch and they will take a mile. They should have never given in.
No, and that's the snowball effect.
Yep.
That's why people say, why do you care? Why does it piss you off what Glock does with their business? You know what? I don't care what Glock does with their business. I don't care if you stay in business or go out of business, honestly. I care about the ripple effect and the empowering effect that they have given the enemy. And I hear people say, oh, it's just business. They're trying to, okay, it's just business. Their business comes and is only viable because of our Second Amendment rights. Okay, the biggest gun consumers in the world are the American people. But yet they don't care, and they empower the enemy.
Ricky Hazelrig said, sounds like Ruger should move to a southern state.
Well, I mean, they've got a place in Kentucky now. They've got places in North Carolina. And I agree with you, Ricky. However, I just, in some ways, I don't know how viable that is. Because, you know, Ruger is also a casting company. All their guns are cast. And moving a casting operation, a huge, substantial casting operation, that would be...
John says it will ultimately affect the 2A industry.
Yeah,
Big time.
because any time they get a win, it's just going to empower them. And now here's what we're doing again. Donald Trump, president. We ain't got nothing to worry about. They ain't going to take our guns. They ain't going to do that. We ain't going to do it. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I say to all the people? You're the same stupid son of a bitch that said they'll never lock American people down. People ain't going to put up with that. Took less than 48 hours. Less than 48 hours. Yeah. Our side is lazy. For the most part.
Marie Hale said she just tuned in, didn't catch what is going on with Ruger. She loves her Ruger 380.
Ruger is doing a magnificent job right now of fending off assaults from the anti-gun politicians in Connecticut, as well as the Everytown for Gun Safety and Bloomberg, who's, of course, supporting that. It's Bloomberg money behind it, and other organizations. And they're being set upon and abused because God gave in and it empowered them, and now they got lots of money flowing in. And on our side right now, donations are at the lowest point they have been in years. Getting anybody to even think about it seems to be next to impossible. There's probably about 3% of so-called Second Amendment supporters and so forth that are paying the bill to do this. Their side gets online, they share, they rally, they push views, they push content. Our side literally will not push a share button. They will not push a like button. They will not just make a comment of hi or how are you or I agree. That's not asking anybody to spend a nickel.
No.
We have on this show roughly 2,000 viewers a week. And I'm not saying this is a good show to share. Okay, I'm not promoting that. Personally, I think it is, but I'm not promoting that. But let's say those 2,000 people shared it, and half of the people they shared it to shared it. Okay, how many more people could our message reach? Now think if you did that with Washington gun law, with guns and gadgets, with Langley Outdoors Academy, maybe VSO Gun Channel, GOA's website. We can have amazing results.
Marie Hale says, I give to the NRA, but not able to do as much now.
You know, the nice thing is And sometimes it don't take money. It literally doesn't take anything other than going to some of the really good organizations like I just named and sharing their content.
John,
Subscribe to the channel.
yep.
I mean,
More reason to support TFA and GOA to support our rights and be our voice.
yes. But, there's people that can contribute money, okay? There's people that can contribute shares, likes.
And that don't cost anything.
No.
That costs nothing.
Um,
It just helps get the word out
but
there.
that helps with the algorithms so that more of it gets out there. There's lots of ways to help. There's lots of ways to be active in the fight. And it don't always mean you got to spend money. Sometimes it just needs your effort. One of the things we do have going on, I know through this month, anybody that buys a D3 Defense product,
In the month of November.
that's what I said this month, November, they're going to give you a free year membership at TFA. That's if you come in and get one of the suppressors, order one of their ARs.
Yep.
If you're buying one of the D3 Defense products, especially the suppressors, you're going to get a free year membership to TFA. That is something Mike and Gretch come up with by themselves.
Yep.
Whereas last week or the week before, we were in the middle of this show, and they're usually tuned in and watching every week. And Mike just pops up in the comments and goes, "Hey, this is what we're doing." So I got off the show and picked up the phone and called Richard Archie, and he's like, "Okay, I'll call John." But that's really nice of them. So you get, if you want to pick up a great can, we got them in stock.
We do.
And get a free TFA membership with that. And these folks are out of Texas now, and they're helping their brothers and sisters in Tennessee.
John said, will they be back with us for the Black Friday sale?
Last I heard, they were coming in for Thanksgiving.
That's what I heard.
Last I heard that they're coming in. Sarah Hedrick's coming in, and Mark's coming in, and we're going to do a Friendsgiving Thursday. We're going to be doing, Friendsgiving Thursday. We'll probably all come up here Thursday night and finish getting the store ready. If there's anything left to do, we'll get a lot of that done Wednesday night. Getting ready for Black Friday. I think Sarah said her and Mark plan on hanging out with us for Black Friday here in the shop. And as far as I know, last I heard, Mike and Gretchen were going to be hanging out in the shop for Black Friday.
It'll be a little crazy.
So, that's typically we never really invite reps to that because there's so many that would come because they love you guys, they love the customers at WHMC, and a lot of them are just looking for an excuse to get here to interact with you guys because they say of all the shows and everything they do, this is the coolest place to be because the customers. So that's reputation you guys got. But they would come, and I'd rather them stay home with their family. I did that thing when you're on the road 45 weeks a year, 46 weeks a year. Some of them holidays need to stay home. So I'm not going to be the guy to ask them to leave home. So anyway, TFA GOA, they need your support. It's just Walter.
You heard it too.
Yeah.
I think
They need your support. Like I said,
They
whether
do.
it's getting a membership, whether it's making a one-time contribution, whether it's getting out there and liking and sharing content, you know, any of those things are ways to help. We've got chances. We just have to have some support. They're energized. The left is energized.
we need to get our side to wake up and
We got to kind of get some life breathed into this side. And, you know, a lot of times when you're fighting a grassroots effort like we are, where we don't have the Bloombergs and all the millionaires and billionaires and the mainstream media and all that shit dumping money into us. Basically an unlimited budget, which is pretty much what they've got. We're more grassroots. We're more from the ground up.
John's asking if we got any more TFA hats. We have one left here at the shop.
I'll call Richard, see about where we're getting those made and get some more made. So anyway, there's multiple ways to help. If you want more suggestions, call me. I'm right here Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5. And on Thursday nights, I'm here a little later. Truthfully, most nights I'm here a little later. But, so let's get through that. We're through that. I think I covered everything there. And let's talk about some cool guns.
Got a few minutes for, you know, you hadn't told anybody what coffee you're drinking.
Raptor. That's right. Get me
Raptor.
fired up. I'm drinking Raptor. You know, guys, we've been talking about a lot about, you know, Second Amendment, United States, what's all American. And look right here. What gets more all American?
The Remington 700.
Remington 700 30-06. Original Burris glass, so U.S. glass, made in Colorado. Redfield mounts and rings. That's about as American as it gets. And this ain't one of them Johnny-come-lately Remingtons. This is a real Remington. Late 60s, early, maybe 70s. Probably 70s.
It's in really good shape.
It's immaculate. So,
Really nice. It's really nice.
So you guys know they're legendary. They're legendary for a reason. It's probably one of the most, outside of the Mauser, Paul Mauser's original design, probably one of the most influential rifles ever made. The influence it's had on the entire firearms industry. I think it might be argued that between Remington and Paul Mauser, that are the two most.
All right.
And that one just don't come any cleaner, and it just don't come any more American. America. So, celebrate America. Remington 700 30-06.
What else you got over there?
Now let's go for plum cute. Guys, tell me that ain't cute. I don't know, guns maybe shouldn't be cute, but
That is a cute little gun. It actually is a pretty gun.
it is. I don't know that that because the lighting and everything we have, that it does the gun justice.
410.
It's 410. You know, when we talk about the full-size shotguns, we talk about having rabbit ears. I call these mouse ears. That's a mouse-eared shotgun.
Ricky Hazelrig said that would be mine if it were a BDL.
That is a BDL. That's 100% BDL.
Sounds like you need to come get it, Ricky.
But yeah, that's a double-triggered mouse-eared shotgun. Ain't big enough to be rabbit ears, so the mouse ears.
They're cute.
So they got to come turned out. That's kind of cute. Nice to get your thumb on.
Yeah.
So that thing don't weigh nothing. You could have lots of fun with it. This is one of the Turkish-made guns. Brought in by TR Imports or under the Silver Eagle brand. But they've really done a nice job with it. If you look at it, the fit, the wood to metal fit, everything's just nice.
It's a pretty gun.
It's just
Pretty little gun.
something I thought I'd share with you guys tonight. Plus, being a 410, and I love the little lever. It has to
Yes.
break down. So you don't have that thing back here that can run,
Yeah, I like that there on the side. A little more user friendly.
So yeah. Ain't that neat? And let's watch this.
Wow.
How would that be for ease of packing?
Real easy.
Now, let's say we win the One Big Beautiful lawsuit, get rid of short barrel shotguns. And we make us one of these and we cut it down to about here. Because now we don't have to pay a $200 tax and we don't have to do all that crap. Can you imagine how handy a little truck gun or, we could actually trim that stock down, starting a kid.
How about for varmints?
Yeah. That
Are
was
those
just,
little bitty chokes in there?
yeah, little screw in chokes.
They're little bitty.
Well, they have to be. So there's that one. And then we'll reach over here and get a behemoth,
That one
or a
don't
piece
look,
of a behemoth.
that one looks kind
Can
of heavy.
everybody see?
Yeah.
That's a Browning BAR Safari Mark II. Chambered in 338 Win Mag. Topped with a
Is it Leopold?
3.5 to 10 Leupold Vari-X 3. 50 millimeter objective. It's like a 30 millimeter tube.
Marie Hale said the first gun I bought other than what my daddy had left me was a 410 double barrel, always ready.
So I've actually got one of these right now, and I just picked up another one in 7 millimeter Remington Magnum. This one's got the Boss system on it. So she's gonna be loud. She's gonna be loud.
I'll bring it down a little bit so they can see that.
Oh, the Boss.
Okay. Yeah.
However, no, there is threads under here, and most of them are turning out to be like 9/16 or something. So we have been able to easily, some of the guys taking these guns with the Boss, screwing it off, and we're finding different adapters or different ways you can just slip your can right on.
Very cool.
So yeah, that is a neat setup. So that is you can see right there in the Safari grade, nice engraving, good wood.
It's got some pretty wood on it.
Oh. So that's the cool ones I brought out. A little update on the YouTube channel. I'm not sure what we've put up. If we put anything today,
I don't think so.
I have kind of been turning a lot of that over to Chris.
I know he's doing a lot of editing in between working. In between customers. I wouldn't say because he's working. Chris Lawler said that needs a can. Don Miller said very nice.
Yeah, it looks like the last one we put up was about 3 days ago, so we should have another. We'll have tonight's episode going up, and we should have 2 or 3 more pistol videos.
Yeah.
But the last one we got up is Smith & Wesson 32 long versus the 100-yard shot with 2 different old Smiths, which was a fun day. And then we should be, next one coming up I think is going to be a Beretta 950, the little 25 with the pop-up barrel.
Yep.
And a Beretta 3032 Tomcat at 115 yards.
Very cool.
And then I think we got another 375 Raptor video coming in there. And then we got some trick shooting videos where we're cutting cards with a pistol and so forth. Coming to the YouTube channel.
Got several videos coming down the pipe.
Then we got to get out and film some more. But anyway, guys, thank you for staying with us tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I hope it's been informative. We're not getting many questions and answers. You guys need to get your questions together. So I like shows where y'all are asking me questions. We hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you're having a good muzzleloader season, getting ready for gun season. And
what's up, dweebs? From Ethan.
Oh.
Well, it's been a long time since we've been blessed with Ethan's presence.
It has. What's up? So, with that said, again, thank you for watching. We do this for you guys. We hope you enjoy it. If you got something you want us to do on the show, drop it a comment, drop it an email.
Come by the shop and tell us.
Whatever. We can't do it if we don't know about it. And everybody stay safe. And remember, God bless America. God bless you.